there. Hi. It turns out I'm pretty sick today. So I am oh boy. I am gonna try to record my lesson today. Oh goodness. I am pretty sick. Okay. Surprise. All right, let's see. I realize I'm being a little silly here right now, but hopefully this can work out because I did want to prepare you today for the IR because I know that it's coming up and I just want you to feel really good about it. And I want you to feel like, confident and you have some tools in your tool belt and tools that are actually not part of um, the actual app itself or the application itself or the test itself. So we're going to go over a few of those things so that you feel, I know it's hard and I know it takes a lot of energy to do. So we're just we're gonna go for it and do the very best that we can. So the ELA sections, there's two of them, and that's 90 minutes. Well, for some people, it can be hard to know, like, what does that look like? And how much time is 90 minutes? And how should I use it? So we've broken it down for you here about how you should spend your time. So the first 5 minutes is previewing the test itself. Um, The reading portion is 35 to 40 minutes, and you should allow yourself 40 minutes for the writing. And I know you're working on the writing in your other classes, but you do want to leave yourself a really good amount of time so you can go through the writing process and show all of your really amazing skills there as well. So this is a general breakdown of how you might want to look at those. So there'll be one session on Monday and one session on Tuesday, and they're each 90 minutes. So what does previewing the test look like? About 5 minutes. One, you can use the navigation arrows to read all the questions ahead of time before you read. That's sort of like free cheating. Again, it's like if somebody said to you, hey, we're going to have a test in social studies today. Would you like to see the test before you have to take it? You'd say yes. So it really does help to kind of give you an overview of the types of things that you're going to be asked before you even attempt those, before you even read. A lot of people get kind of anxious or nervous and they just jump right in and they start reading and they just don't look at the test. But it really is helpful to do that. So you can think, what is the order of the test? Are there questions after the essay? Because sometimes there are. And you want to note any key words from the questions. If it says analyze, is it going to ask you a theme? Is it going to ask you a setting? So that you can have those in mind. Is it going to talk about characters? Is it going to talk about plot? And, is it going to talk about, is there a poem in there? And then you might want to just like, your mind will start to get ready as you're going through the test because you know what to expect. And it just feels a little bit more, it can be a calming experience. And actually, I will tell you, I think poetry is on there quite a bit. And so is theme. Okay. So here are the things that you have that you can use. And a lot of people don't necessarily realize it. So if you look at the far left, you'll see it'll show you which questions you've done and it'll keep track of that for you. You know what question you're on and you'll be able to see which questions you've done. At the top, you can see the back and front arrows. That's probably something you're pretty familiar with. So if you hit review, you'll be able to see this. You can put in a bookmark if you think maybe I want to go back to that one. Even if you answered it, you might want to, if you have extra time, you might be like that one. I want to think a little bit more about it, come back to it. There's a, sorry, there's a pointer arrow here that you can use as well. You can use this X to scratch out a answer is wrong. And a lot of times when there's multiple choice, you've told me, oh, I can eliminate two right away. Like they feel very wrong and you feel confident about it. And then it'll help you to see the two choices you have left. And I have a hint about that later on as well. There's also a notepad in case you wanted to write something down. And one really fun thing is Colors you can highlight, and there's a blue and a pink. To be honest, I can't remember what this one does. We can play with that later and you can figure it out. But if you want to highlight, if that helps you, if you want to come back to it later, or if you remember, hey, there's a question about that. This looks like it could be something to do with theme. Because the character is asking themselves an introspective question. So I want to make sure I highlight that. So you could go ahead and use those tools. So you'll play with that. You'll have time after this video is over to play with a test. So here are some hints for multiple choice. You want to read the question carefully to be sure you understand it. Is it about characters, point of view, theme, figurative language, vocabulary? There's some research that suggests that half of the times kids get questions wrong, it's not because they didn't know the right answer, it's because they misread the question. So it's really worth it to be very careful about reading the question so that you're sure what's being asked. You can use the highlighter feature. It can be very helpful to highlight the text evidence in part B so that you can easily find those for reference later. You can look back at the text, the story or the poem while you're answering. Remember, there are only 11 questions, and the expectation is that you will look back. So you don't want to rush through those questions. You know, they're not designed for you to remember. So it's almost like a trick that the adults writing the test will do. Is like, oh, we'll only make 11 questions. And then kids who don't know how to do a close read or who don't take the time are just going to pick the wrong answer. So definitely take your time on that. When there's a part A, when there's a part A and a B, make sure that your A and B match. Hint, if B does not match up with A, reconsider your answer to both A and B. Here's a hack alert. I think I told you about this yesterday. I might have told you in class that I found this. Frequently, there are two answers in a multiple choice that are true or reasonable. However, one of those answers will actually match the question better than the other. So ask which of these two matches the question better, not which is most true for the story or which is a more powerful moment in the story. Make sure you're really answering that question. Look for those keywords in the question and the keywords in the answers selection or the evidence you're choosing. So that's just a hack. Make sure it feels very matchy-matchy. So the time breakdown for writing, I'm imagining that you'll get more information about this in your writing class, but you're going to read the prompt over for several times. Make sure you understand it again. Outline your response. I rarely see kids do this. They want to jump in. They want to get started. Either they have a great idea and they want to just get into it, or they think they're extremely confident, or they're tired and they want to get it over with. I don't know, but good writers take a moment to plan. It doesn't have to take long, a few minutes, less than 5 minutes is fine to plan out your essay. And I encourage you to do that on scratch paper or on the notes. You'll never be sorry that you planned it out ahead of time. And your essay writing is about 30 minutes, and leave yourself about 3 minutes to edit for grammar, spelling, and so forth. So here is a link to the practice test. I'm going to put this in Google Classroom. So I can't really, I wonder if I can just walk through the multiple choice together. I don't think I'm going to do that here on this recording. I'm going to have you do that. And when I get back, we can do that on Wednesday. So there's also an answer key. I will give you that. That way you can check your work. And this is for 8th grade. You don't have to worry about that. And that's it. So I'm going to put those links in Google Classroom, and you can go through that. And when you're finished, you can continue on in your book and jotting and being a really awesome kid. Okay. Have a great day.